going on, everyone? Do not adjust your TVs. Do not tune away. You're not seeing crazy. It's me, your boy, Charlie. Welcome to another episode of the Inner Circle Podcast Show. I know. You guys may be like, wait a minute. What is this motherfucker doing alone? Well, my best girlfriend Melanie is has a work obligation today. You know she is committed. The girl has shown up to the shows even while she's on vacation or other work commitments. She's not that type of girlfriend like others, but she'll be back. She'll be back. I mean, we have lives out of this. We gotta pay our bills. You know what I mean? Or we'll be doing the show from like under the Brooklyn Bridge. So she will definitely be back next week. So do not fret. Do not get disturbed. There's no craziness going on. She will definitely be back. But I am here with you guys. And I told you guys I have some surprises for you guys today. So be patient, stick around because we have a fun show. Yes, you may be thinking, how fun is it going to be by himself? Well, I have some surprises, like I said. But let's kick off the show, y'all. Let's start things off so we can get this started. Again, we have a great show, and I can't wait to get to our surprises. But first, let's get into the album. I'm repping the man. He's my imaginary husband. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny dropped his new album, Un Verano Sin Ti, this past Friday. And you know I am hyped. I am so hyped. He's like he's again my imaginary husband. And Un Verano Sin Ti just came out. It's basically a soundtrack to a summer album. It translates to A Summer Without You. And now that we've had some time to listen, yo, the man, say what you will, whether you're a Bad Bunny fan or not, but the number one most streamed artist in a single day. He took that title and broke the record on Friday on Spotify. So congrats to my guy. He's well on his way to a number one debut for a Latin whole album. This is big. This is big. So I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys have heard the album. What are your thoughts, Circle Friends, on the Bad Bunny album? For me, there's so many that I could go from that are favorites of mine, and the vibes he gives from Andrea, which it's like a very Sade tribal vibe. If you're into that, listen, music is universal. So even though it's in Spanish, I recommend anyone who may not speak Spanish or whatever to check it out because music is universal and it just feels. You get what I'm saying? So, yep, Conejo Malo, Bad Bunny, baby. So Andrea is a jam. What's your favorite? Tanari, what's your favorite? Anyone who's in the comments with me right now, definitely I want to hear your thoughts of your favorite freaking track. Yo No Soy Celoso is a very Jason Mraz, John Mayer vibe. Guitar, not a lot of instruments. I love where he went there with that. Moscow Mule, I love the Moscow Mule video. Would you believe Bad Bunny wore a shirt? There's the power and the. If you want to talk about someone being an influencer, this motherfucker could call himself an influencer. He wore a certain shirt that was sold at Target at the beginning of the video. Tell me why that shirt at Target has been sold out so quick. And now we have people all the way in China making knockoff shirts and selling them on Etsy for like $50. Talk about the influence of Bad Bunny. That song, Moscow Mule, is freaking dope. Again, he's such a Pisces. He's so mean. The fact that he had dolphins in it. And of course, he has the people talking because in the video, if you guys have watched the video, he's basically naked. You got to watch the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But think Marilyn Manson. Remember Marilyn Manson for my millennials when he did that, I think it was a dope show or something, and he looks naked, but he had prosthetics and stuff. That's the vibe that Bad Bunny went with that Moscow Mule video. Let's see what else. El Apagón. If you listen to his last album with Zafaera, was the Puerto Rican anthem from that last album, from Yo Hago Lo Que Me De La Gana from 2 albums ago. This album, the Puerto Rican anthem is El Apagón, but it's not as I look at it as not as hard and gritty as Zafaera. I kind of compared El Apagón to a new Puerto Rican version, but a gay version because it goes into like, you know, tribal beats, and then it goes into like what I call this gay dance beat. But it's not necessarily a gay song. I don't want people to be like, oh, Bad Bunny's making gay songs. But it goes into what reminds me just what the gays will be dancing to in the 90s house dance song. So El Apagón is definitely a joint. Let's see. Tanari, I struggle for understanding. I haven't memorized the tracks, but yet, but the part where he talks about not wanting to leave the island and telling them to go, that's El Apagón. I believe it's El Apagón you're talking about, Tanari. So yeah, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying the album. I've definitely been. It's like that's gonna be my soundtrack. Can't wait to see him at Yankee Stadium August 27th. That concert's gonna be lit, fucking lit. But you guys let us know in the comments what you guys think about that new Bad Bunny album and what tracks are you guys feeling. Now, moving on to some other news, let's talk about Sex and the City. We all are big Sex and the City fans, and we were excited when it came back as a reboot with And Just Like That. Obviously, we were missing, notably, the sex kitten, my favorite out of the four girls, Kim Cattrall, who plays Samantha. Recently, in an interview, she goes on to say that she was actually never approached. This time, when they started And Just Like That, she was never approached to do the spinoff. Now, she goes on to clarify most likely they didn't approach her because she was very adamant that after the last Sex and the City movie, she wanted no part with the people, especially Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, if you're living under a rock, we know these two have not gotten along for a very long time. And listen, when you're an executive producer of the show, and the actress and the lead, some other cast members may look at it a certain way or sideways or unfair with certain things. And I've always sided for some reason with Kim Cattrall with this whole mess that dates back to years ago, even when the show was still airing, even before the first Sex and the City movie came out. So she goes on to say that there's no future that of her coming back ever. So for you Samantha Jones fans, me right here, let's not hold our breath because we'll be fucking dying really quick. But I'm glad that Kim Cattrall's still doing her thing. If you guys don't know, she's on How I Met Your Mother, the spinoff of How I Met Your Father. She's doing that and many other things. So much love, and we'll always love my Kim Cattrall, because let's be real. Yes, Sarah Jessica Parker, everyone wants to be a Carrie, but I always wanted to be a Samantha. Okay, no shame in that. Sluts have more fun sometimes. Anyways, let's move on to Ashanti, for those who care about Ashanti, because when I heard this, I'm like, really? Ashanti just received her Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Now, I thought to myself when I seen this, she received a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Like, okay, yeah, you wrote a few bops for some other artists. Yeah, you had a few hits, but girl, like, does she deserve that? Do we think Ashanti deserved a Hollywood Walk of Fame? I want to hear you guys sound off on this situation. I personally, listen, congrats to her. Congrats. I'm not a hater. Congrats. Much love. Sending you roses. But, oh no, I don't think she's of that caliber to have received a Hollywood Star Walk of Fame. I don't know. You guys correct me. If you guys think different, by all means, opinions are like assholes. We all have them. In my opinion, I don't know. I like Ashanti, but then again, Hollywood Walk from the stars, I hear that the celebrities or their people or whoever kind of pay for it to have it anyway. So there we go. She must have really wanted that star and paid for it. Anyways, we are going to move on to some news that broke the internet this week. I literally woke up, I think, was it yesterday, to a few text messages to this video. But to talk about this now, I have a few surprises for you guys. Joining me to talk about Jesse Williams, yes, is no other than, he's an OG. He's an OG, and he's back again, and will always be welcome back to the Inner Circle podcast to talk about this, because you were one of the people that sent me this, and I was like, oh shit. Is none other than Sean. What up, Sean? How are you?
I'm doing good. Yes. Yeah, I woke up to my alert on Twitter and stuff, and I was like, oh, what's Twitter talking about? And I watched the video, and I was like, oh. And I heard about the play before, and he said he was going to be no nudity. He said there was going to be nudity, and he acted like it was no big deal, like there wasn't that much to see and stuff. So Yeah, I wasn't expecting all that.
We have another special surprise guest joining us to talk Jesse Williams and much more. It's gonna be a fun show. I told you guys, it's Virgo power today. I'm surrounded by a lot of Virgos. Welcome back again. One of our favorites. She's become one of our favorites to the show. Our girl, Myronique. What's up?
Hey!
How are you?
How y'all doing?
We're good. I'm good. I'm surrounded a lot of Virgo energy. I'm missing my girl Melanie, but I'm happy that I have you guys here today and to discuss some things.
Yeah.
Now Sean sent me the Jesse Williams. It was actually Sean first, and Melanie, like literally Sean. Melody texted me like minutes after the same thing, but I read your thing first, and I was looking at your video. I had to look at the video like a few times, like we wanted it back. So I was doing all that, and then I realized that she also sent it to me, and I'm like, wow. And then I had to send it to Myronique because I promised her. Ever since we came on the show the first time, I had to send a few. You
have to let me know. You kept me up to date.
I had to send a few, the Tigers and a few others. So I had to send her the Jesse Williams one. Now, what did you have? Like, I had to watch it a few times. I told you, I'm like, God damn. I already thought, and for those of you guys who don't know what he looks like, the man is fine already, point blank, period.
Baby!
He is fine, point blank, period. But to see that, what was your thought?
God, he's so fine. Oh my! And I'll never forget one time he was on. I don't know if it was what award show it was, but he got up there and he accepted his award or something. He made a speech like going in for like the Black community, and I was fucking loving him ever since. Like, oh my God, you fine and you an activist, baby. Like, come on now.
Yeah, he's a big activist.
Yes,
Big
activist. Lord, big in all things, huh?
He's blessed.
For real. Listen, this is not the first actor to do that. I actually seen this at the actual play. A few years back, Daniel Radcliffe, aka Harry Potter, he did this Broadway play called Equus.
Yeah, I seen the pictures.
Yep. He did this Broadway play Equus, and he was full frontal as well. And I see that right there. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter himself, naked in the flesh. And I was like, okay, the story was boring. The play was boring. It was about a horse and a man with somewhat of a relationship with his horse. It was some crazy shit. But I still put my little Broadway etiquette pants on, and I'm like, let me go and see some dick and pretend I'm being proper.
You know what? I actually saw a play where the dick was full out too, and that's why I thought when you sent me this, I don't know if you saw, I wrote you and I said, oh my God, I already know what play this is, but I was wrong because I thought it was Choir Boy, which is a play that I saw. It's by Terrell Alvin McCraney. And he actually did the movie Moonlight. I don't know if y'all remember Moonlight. It won a big Oscar. Yeah, really good. And he wrote that play, Choir Boy. And in Choir Boy, it's fucking full dicks out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a like shower type scene, like naked or whatever. And so, I mean, that brother that did that show that I witnessed was packing too. He was like, woo! We was in the audience like, woo!
I mean, I would hope if someone's gonna go on a Broadway show and know their full frontal, or even read the script and knows their full frontal.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope if you're gonna show up, you're gonna show up.
You telling me Harry Potter is like packing?
No, not like a Jesse Williams, but he had more balls than anything. He definitely had a nice, his balls.
He didn't have
No, I mean, it was nice. It was decent. It was decent for a little fair white boy.
Right?
It was decent. Listen, don't see on white guys. Don't see on those white guys.
I want to see the picture now.
Sean, that's gonna be. We'll try to look at. I'll try to look for you, but that's hard because again, it's on Broadway. So now with Jesse Williams to keep up to bring you guys up to date, he they're actually hiring extra security to beef up the policy and make sure that they adhere to the no camera rule, especially after this leak. So do you guys think they're gonna be successful with that?
No.
I mean, I've been on like, game shows and situations like audience members where they make us give up our actual phone before we could go in, or they'll put it in this magnetized lock bag and then hand it back to us. So unless you got a magnet to unlock it, you can't get to your phone. You have your phone physically with you, but it's in a bag where you can't unlock it until they unlock it. So they have ways to do things like that, you know what I mean, to make sure.
Yeah, but technology has ways because Samsung got this little dot camera you can attach to your shirt just like that.
No.
Yeah, you can shoot, hook that up to your foot. Your
if
watch.
anyone knows about little tricky technology stuff, it's Sean.
Or you can have, don't Snapchat have like some glasses?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is ways around it.
I guess there is, but I mean, I live in New York. I'm not gonna run up to see it because I already seen the video.
Right.
So I'm not gonna try and run up to the show now. But damn, did I see that video a lot? And just damn, I always found them hot. But damn.
Yeah, and the play is called "Take Me Out." Like, baby,
it's a baseball game, no? It's about baseball, no? Yeah, I heard he did this, and he's not the only big main actor in this Broadway show. I mean, I'm not gonna remember right now the other good actors in this show. The guy from
Redhead from
Modern Family, yeah,
from Modern Family,
Tyler something, I think. Tyler, I think his name Tyler Ferguson.
Yeah, Tyler Ferguson. Yeah,
I believe it's him and some other known actors are in there. Who's that making an appearance?
My little Tootie B. Look at Tootie
B. Hi, cutie. But where's my gizmo? My gizmo's somewhere else. He's like, fuck you and your show today, Dad. But yeah, I mean, God bless Jesse Williams. And didn't him and his wife just recently get divorced and separated?
I do not know.
I believe that happened. But let me just tell you, you know what? This may sound like I'm being mean, but that bitch was a simple bitch for all that man.
I don't even know. I got to Google what the bitch looked like.
I mean, I'm just gonna put it like that. She was simple, and he was with her for years after he became famous. So I mean, she must have had some good because
I think they met before he was famous.
Before he was famous, yeah.
Oh, he kept it real. He kept it real. 100. Okay, that made me love him even more. See,
But as of recently, I believe I'm 98% sure there's a separation there. We can confirm that next week on the show. I'm not sure, but I believe there is a separation there. And no, I'm 99% sure because I think it's with him that. Is it with him or is it with someone else? That she wants spousal support, but I'm gonna have to double check because I don't want to be like Wendy Williams and her be reporting fucking wrong shit and she don't be right. So I'll get back to you guys next week with the election. You know, she be no Wendy Williams. I love her, but like one of the gripes I always have with her is sometimes she reported wrong shit, and I know this. I know when she specifically talked about Britney. I'm a Britney fan. You can't tell me nothing about Britney. So when she reported certain things about Britney, I'm like, bitch, that's wrong. That's wrong. Like you need to hire me on your fucking team to give you exactly the details. But anyways, maybe another show because as we know, she's not gonna be on her, Sherry Shepherd that's becoming her show. But let's move away from some circle talk and get into some circle corner. Circle's corner is a topic that we discuss. Everyday things that I think we all may think about, maybe we talk about sometimes with our friends, but sometimes are afraid to talk about or express it. This, I'm sure we're going to be talking about many more times to come down the road in the podcast. Dating, period, but dating in your 20s versus your 30s. Now, I'm going to admit, no one has to admit their age here, but I'm over the 30 group. So, there's a difference there. He said lies, Sean. He said no. So I let's open up the discussion. That you first, man, especially in Cali. How do you feel the difference between dating in your 20s versus now 30s?
You know what? To be honest, I really honestly don't even see a difference because California niggas, men, whatever you want to call them, fuck boys, they have always been full of shit out here. Like for me, that's my experience. You understand what I'm saying? Even in high school, they was full of shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like 22, I think it's just really your expectations kind of change as you get, because, okay, when I'm saying 22 because I'm 32 now. So like 10 years ago, whatever the case may be in my 20s, it was just my expectations, I guess, were, lower. You know what I mean? I mean, I've always been the type that wanted to be in a serious committed relationship, like, you know what I mean? And, start our lives together. I don't really technically care too much about having kids. I just have always really wanted a husband more than I wanted kids, like somebody to really share my life with, travel with, build things together, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's just not what I've come to realize 10 years later at 32 that that's just not what you're going to get in California. I mean, I do know some friends that have found it. You understand what I'm saying? And some of them have even found it online. But my experience, it's the same old bullshit. I'm talking like playing the games, just wanting to be fuck buddies, guys telling you that, they got too much going on in their life. They're so stressed out. They don't want a relationship right now. It's not you, it's them. But then a month later, you see them posting a bitch on their Instagram talking about, I'm in a relationship. So it's like, really, we're playing that kind of game? That's the kind of games that they play out here in Cali. You know what I mean? I don't know how it is on the East Coast. You get me? But out here, it's terrible.
Sean, could you speak for, I mean, we're both in the East Coast, but obviously different states. Could you speak for I lived there at one point too, but.
I feel like Rhode Island's kind of like the worst state to be single in because it's so many lies. Like they say they want to be in a relationship, but they just want to have a boyfriend and fuck other guys at the same time. If they all want this fake persona.
No, when you say
I don't have time for that bullshit. If you want to have an open relationship, tell me we're not gonna have an open relationship. You want to close, fine. Don't try to say you want this false thing going on. And I'm crazy, and I need a little bit of crazy in my man. And they don't like to act crazy around here. They act like it's just they act like they're Catholic schoolboys sometimes. Oh. But then you go online and they want to get fisted.
There we go.
No.
They try to be an undercover freak.
Now, do you feel is it for me myself? Let me say in New York, anyways. New York, I don't know. New York is it's funny because I feel like New York is kind of like Cali. A lot of people are full of shit. A lot of people, and especially this is speaking for the gay community, in the gay community. Mm-hmm. It's for me. I feel it's, and I always felt this way in a way, but especially in New York, it's more of a, what could you do for me? Who do you know? How could you put me on? Am I gonna be elevated? It's like a lot of these motherfuckers are looking to be elevated or a put on type of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it is true. I see one of the comments, Rhode Island small, everyone's been with each other. One of the comments I see, I lived in Rhode Island, I agree. But listen, New York, if people think that about the smallest state, but then come to New York and still experience the same thing, then it's like, because I feel like New York is fucking small too. Like, you meet some person, they're like, oh yeah, I've been with that person. Oh, yeah, I fucked that person a long time ago. I'm like, damn, like, Charlie, this person, that. And it's like, or the best is like, oh, I know Charlie. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people be like, oh, I know Charlie. No, motherfucker, you know of me. You don't No, me. Okay. So let's especially when they say that to someone I'm kicking it with or dating. Oh, I know Charlie. Motherfucker, you know me? At what time was I born? What's my favorite food? Like, I can't stand that. I can't stand when people do that. I also feel a lot of motherfuckers also are just, I don't know if you have to go through this, Byron, because you're a female, but Sean, maybe you can attest this. A lot of motherfuckers also just want a free meal. There's a lot of motherfuckers who are hungry out here, are hungry in these streets, and just want that free meal. And it's like, no, I'm not doing community service like that either.
I get materialistic, guys. Like they want you to have a nice car. They want you to have this good job, be able to go on all these vacations and blah blah blah. Yeah. You know, and I'm not looking for that. I don't like. I'm not a materialistic person. If you got a car, that's great. I would prefer you to have a car, but you know, if you need to take a bus, that's fine. Or if you need me to pick you up, that's fine. But you know, I ain't picking you up all the time. But
thank you, shit.
And the dick better be proportionate to how many miles I have to drive.
Okay. But for you, do you feel men have expectations for females? Like, I don't know how it switched. I don't know. I mean, things are changing so much. Do men come? Does it? For you, are motherfuckers coming to you like expecting you to like have this or that or provide this? Like, how is it for you from a female's perspective?
Oh, it's definitely changed. Like once I hit like probably 26, like so around 2016, 2017, I noticed that guys like started being like judging you off how old you are. Like versus my early 20s versus my late 20s, they were guys that when I was in my early 20s, guys didn't give a fuck. You feel me about like what your job is, what your, you know what I mean? As long as you say like I'm in school, I'm in college, they was cool with you. They wasn't really tripping. But now I feel like times have changed so much and it's so much going on to where a lot of bitches are like into this mindset because of all the rap bitches singing about just fuck a nigga, use a nigga to get your bag, bitch, because women got so tired of being hurt and used and abused and played for just pussy or their money that they said, we gonna change the motherfucking game on these niggas. So you feel me? Every like the main thing in Cali, I was just talking to a guy about this. The main thing out here in Cali is that men are too scared to open up themselves to, you know, women in dating because they too worried about getting played for money. And women are too, you know, closed down, shut down because they too worried about getting played for just pussy. So those are the two main things out here with the, you know, men and women going back and forth. But I've noticed, like I said, once I hit my late 20s and start telling a guy, because I always keep it real with people about my age, I don't give a fuck. You feel me? Because age ain't nothing but a number. You feel me? I can still drop it low, pop like and drop it, baby. Like you understand what I'm saying? So
it still work.
Thank you. I don't mind telling motherfucker my age. You feel me? So when I would tell guys when I was in my later 20s, they would start being like, "Oh, you're just working retail. Oh, you just have a retail job." Like they would be judgmental. And I even had one guy actually tell me, you know what? I wouldn't be able to take you serious, like as being serious, anything more than a fuck buddy with you, because you only work retail. And you know, I've been there, done that. I just got out of a long-term relationship with a bitch that worked retail. And me and my friends, we work Monday through Friday jobs and we have the weekends off so we could take trips and do this and that. And she could never do that because retail, you usually have to work on the weekend.
True.
But, yeah. When I worked at my old job, it was like that. Like, people didn't understand that I had to work on the weekends sometimes.
But was it because of retail that they didn't want to date or it didn't work out? Because that's so fucking shallow. I thought
guys don't want to date if you're like doing retail. If you have a retail job, some guys don't want to date you. They're like, oh, I would like to date a guy who has a career. Like,
I really do feel like it's become a little harder for sure with that, especially as you get older. I think one of the things is too, and for me, it was easier to answer the question because we're talking about it. But I would say dating in my 20s was easier than your 30s because now I don't have the tolerance. I don't have the tolerance or the bullshit to deal with like guys who are just trying to get a free meal or what could you do for me type of thing. So in my 20s, it was easier to do dates, when now I feel like guys are very expectant. Like, and then for gay guys, it's weird because it's like you talk about chilling, but then we don't know who, at least for, back in the day, or for the most part, with a woman and a guy, for the most part, it's the guy who's going to pay for the most part. Although, now that we all want equal rights and changes and revert, but with gay guys, it's hard because it's like you have motherfuckers talk about, oh, let's chill, let's go on a date, let's go out for a drink. Okay, nigga, who's paying?
I always do it like if they ask, that means they're paying.
Well, listen,
and if I ask,
with someone from, and I will, I brought this up on the podcast before, I think, and I will always bring it up because it sticks out like a sore thumb in my mind. It was a motherfucker from Providence. I remember, this is a little bit that year before I moved back to New York. I remember going on a date with this guy. It was around January, February, and he was feeling me hard and on me hard or whatever. And we go to, we went on a date, go to the movies. It was the movies that in Providence Place where there was already serving drinks and food. So I get all that, and it's like I'm paying. I'm taking out the money, paying for this, pay for the Uber, pay for, and this motherfucker not once like tried to take out for, even with the food part, like take out, and that was a turnoff. Like I was sitting at the movie, watching the movie. I couldn't really enjoy the movie because the whole time in my mind, I'm like, this motherfucker couldn't even take out $1 or a card for this or that or the movie or the food. Nothing. And I'm like, nah, he showed me himself. And it was a turnoff. And never again. After that date, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you know what, Charlie, let it go. You did some community service, let it go. And never again. He did sure hit me up a few times or whatever. And new me would tell him now what he fucked up with. Old me, I just ghosted him. I'm very good with ghosting too. I just ghosted. And I knew I was moving back to New York and stuff too. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to waste my breath and energy explaining to this motherfucker that you're cheap. Nah, like, whatever. Let me just ghost you and like, that's it. And you would think the sex, and he wasn't, and you think the sex was bomb, but he was a freaking bottom. And it wasn't that great. And when I say bottom, it's because So it was like I really did some community service, that thing, but I truly feel like motherfuckers are out. It's harder in your 30s, and it's harder for me because everyone's like on a up and up. And even I noticed this in New York. I even went on a date with this beautiful guy a few years ago, but it was just that, a date. Like after that, nothing happened. Again, for this one, did I pay for this one? I think I paid for the dinner. I paid for the dinner, and I didn't mind paying for the dinner because I did initiate that, but nothing ever happened. And it's like motherfuckers out here are really just want to get free meals.
See, what happened to going Dutch? Because I'm going to be honest, because I know that guys are always in their fucking head about like, oh, this bitch might just be trying to use me for a free meal or for, money or whatever the case may be. I go prepared on the first date, like, to go Dutch. Like, I pull out my motherfucking wallet. Now, if he stop me and say, no, that's good, like, I got it, then I'm going to put my shit right back away. You best believe. But I do make the effort because I don't want to get that same, feed into the stereotype of especially LA bitches just want a nigga for the money. You know what I mean? Trying to use a baby to get money and everything else. You get what I'm saying? So I try to come correct, you feel me, on the first day. Like, you pay for your shit, I pay for my shit, because I can take care of myself. You understand what I'm saying? But I ain't finna take care of you.
Yeah, that's what I do. I make sure I have enough money to pay for myself.
Yes.
No, I have enough money to pay for the whole date, but
you come prepared. And if I'm in a situation where I don't want to pay a half or not, or have other shit lined up where I can't, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna, I don't go because it's tricky. It's tricky nowadays, especially with guy on guy. Like, again, it's more when it's a guy girl, it's usually like, but again, that's even changing. Like the whole.
But that's the old school way. That's the old school
way.
The
old school way.
Guys are not fucking with that no more. They not fucking with it because you just imagine how expensive that could be for a guy that's trying, like, really looking for love, and he's going on different dates with different bitches every week or every other day or every weekend. You know how expensive that will be for him. Like he better be a motherfucking.
That's why I like cooking dinner separate. You know.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, but I don't like bringing nobody to my house that I don't know.
Not just anyone either. Nope, you just can't bring anyone. I cook. I know how to cook, so that's a saving grace for me. But you're right. I just don't bring anyone in my.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will cook and bring the food over to their house. Hey.
Or like make a nice little date out, like cook food, have a little picnic.
Thank you. I was gonna say picnics are like not that expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute, like nature in a park. I have Brian in the comments. He says these days females expect everything to be paid for by the man. It is true. And listen, we're living post Corona. Everything has gone the fuck up. But now, to go out on and I've seen it. Hello, I'm in a relationship, so I've seen it when I go on these date nights. I can stay my ass home and be like, baby, I'm a fucking cookie. But you still want to go out as a thing. You don't want shit to get stagnant and boring. But I've seen it. A nice little date night out just for dinner could be close to $200 motherfucking dollars. Like 150 something to $200. And it's like you leave that like, damn. That could have been a food shopping.
Thank you.
That could have been this. I think that's when you start thinking also when you're in your 30s.
When you're older.
Or broke. Yeah. But it's also the other things you could have done with all that motherfucking money. It's like, no. Like
that age is a motherfucker, ain't it? This shit ain't no joke.
Listen, it is. And you know what? Another thing, money aside and stuff, I'm at a point, again, right now, I'm not dating freely because I'm taking, but I'm at a point where it's like, especially in your 30s, I'm dating with intention. Mm-hmm. I'm not in my 20s just going on dates just to figure, let me see if this guy's cute. Oh, maybe. No. I'm dating with intention. Like in my mid 30s, I've always believed in getting married. I always believe I have my own ways and stuff, but I still always believe in that me and one guy partnership against the world. And I'm going to keep believing in that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna manifest. I believe that. But in my 30s, and I said this to the guy I'm with. I'm dating with intentions. I'm not fucking around dating fleetingly out here or whatever, just shooting the shit and stuff. Because my guy's still in his 20s, upper 20s, to make that clear. I'm not dating no little baby. No. I don't like dating young babies. That was even a problem too. At the beginning, I'm like, damn, you're like. Right. Anyway, that's for another day, another show. But I'm dating with intentions. I told my dude, I'm like, yo, I'm dating with intentions. I'm not here just to think. I want to get, and that scares some people off too. Yo, I'm dating with intentions, but that's the difference.
Don't you feel like your expectations raise? Like once you hit your 30s, right? Your expectations go up. But some people say the older you get, your expectations start to drop because you're tired of being alone, so you'll just take anything. How do you feel about that?
Oh, good question.
I feel like these expectations come from a financial type of thing, and then I don't judge people I want to date financially, especially nowadays. You really can't date. You can't judge people on how they're living, how much money they're making. The economy. People need to.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's really rampant.
Yeah,
especially with social media and everything's glitzy, this, that. People definitely are.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, you said your question was.
Do you feel because some people say, I feel like my expectations get higher the older I get, but some people say they get lower because you're tired of being alone.
I'll be a lonely motherfucker then. Listen, I love my company. I love my own company. I really enjoy my own company. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, knock on wood, I speaking right now, I will be fine with being alone, me, myself, and my dog. I enjoy my own company. And once in a while, when I want to get mine, whoever's lucky could get yours. Right. And we can call it that. And keep it going. Goodbye. And be back to my space alone. Because I am not going to lower myself and be with someone just because I'm lonely and it's not working. I'm not going to lower my expectations. No. I'd rather be alone. Because I truly enjoy my own company. And when I want to have a little cute date, I'll go on a date. When I want to bam, 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 wham, bam, wham, bam,
You
bam,
know how
bam,
to go and get it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, as a woman out here, and it's hard like seeing all your friends from high school and college get married and
having babies.
they're alive and they're having, and so you start asking, well, why not me? Why not me? And so you start getting I have been to that point where I've been desperate, where I call it the Lord's charity work. I did the Lord's charity work, and I took a motherfucker that I knew was so not deserving of me. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you what, it really backfired on me, and I paid the ultimate price. You get what I'm saying? So I really do think that you should just be good and content and learn to be content with being, alone. And you feel me? Because let's be honest, it ain't meant for all of us to have, that one and that the white picket fence or whatever you want to call it with the husband and the wife sitting there, or the husband and husband, wife and wife. It's not going to happen like that for everybody, that fantasy that we all dream of. It's just being realistic. You know what I mean? You want it to, but it just ain't going to happen. And sometimes when you go out here looking for the shit, you come up fucked up. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because it's happened to me several times.
Sometimes, at least when you, and I've seen this throughout my life, and even throughout my life, even when younger, I'm like, wow. When you leave, when you're not looking for it, that's when it happens. When you're least looking for it, that's when it happens, and it's usually that good. I mean, some of it, obviously, those relationships didn't last, but they were substantial enough at that moment where it was like, wow, like I truly believe when you're not really looking and seeking, things like come to you.
But I do know people, with that being said, I do know people that have gone looking, they've been online, and they met their husband or wife online and have kids and all that. And that's not to say in the end it's going to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they did find, marriage, love, kids online when they was looking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And to add to that, too, I mean, I know women, because I know I've always heard growing up the biological clock, and I'm not a woman, so I don't know. I can't speak for what women feel. But I agree with you, too, about the scene, especially social media. Now we see everything. Seeing like people your age getting married, having kids. And for as a man, it kind of affects me, too, because I'm like, I've always wanted, since I was a kid, and I've said this on the show before, I've had this conversation many times throughout life with different people. Since I was a kid, I always wanted a boy. I always wanted one son. A son. I even had his name picked for a while. But then, funny enough, the universe is funny. Then one of my ex's son was named a name that I wanted for my actual firstborn.
No way.
I swear to God. Because I wanted to name my son Giovanni Gabriel. Giovanni Gabriel. Giovanni Gabriel being his thing, but one of my ex's sons is named that.
That exact name.
Not Gabriel, but Giovanni.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, God, you sent me a Giovanni, but this ain't my own child. This is a stepchild.
Let me tell you. But yeah, no, it is an immense pressure being a woman, because my doctor straight up told me, bitch, if you ain't had a kid, but she asked me, she was like, what are you waiting for? She said, if you ain't had a kid by 35, baby, forget it.
Hey, let me tell you, as a lifelong fan of Janet Jackson, that is not true. You can be 50 and still have money.
Yeah, but that's
money. She got
money. No, she had that.
That was had kids at 40 something, but they got money.
That wasn't like a planned birth. They were just fucking.
How did she have that? Did they implant it? Did they freeze her eggs?
No, no, it was all natural. It was all natural. They just wanted to have a baby, but they just was fucking.
She didn't freeze no eggs or nothing. She was still having a period at 50.
I guess so. It must have been that I don't want to say it, but it must have been that Arabian sperm. That powerful. It found the egg somewhere.
Well, listen,
I just knew that Janet, that whole 50 Janet thing was like, some, what they call it, FY, what they call it?
Veto of fertilization.
Yeah.
I mean, J-Lo did it. I know J-Lo did it. There's a lot of women who have done it. And I thought Janet did it too, but I'm not sure, so I can speak to that.
Yeah.
But listen, this is a topic that it could go on for so long and in many different ways. So we'll definitely revisit this, but in the future. But we still have questions we ask you, Circle friends, to send in questions on our Instagram page. If you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you're following us on Instagram. You definitely want to be following us there for a lot of different fun stuff, exclusive stuff. But we asked you guys to ask the circle. We're bringing Ask the Circle back little by little, and you guys definitely participated and sent in some very excited about, because we have a panel today, different perspectives. So let's get it started with Ask the Circle. So this is questions that you guys sent in. Thank you guys so much for that and participating. Let's get started. The first question is, would you get upset at your spouse giving someone else money? Giving another girl money or giving another guy money? I guess, gender thing. Would you be upset at your spouse if he or she gave someone else of the same sex money?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, if it ain't his family, like his immediate family, you know what I mean? Then I can't really speak to that. But if you're giving money, I mean, it really depends on the relationship. Like, who is this person to you? Is this a coworker you trying to help that's in need? Is this an ex? Is this a supposed best friend? You feel
the supposed friend.
Yeah, like what the fuck? I need to know like what the situation is. But most importantly, like, you feel me? I mean, I guess especially if we're married and we, really are growing towards something and paying bills together, living together, like you should be able to run that by me and like, ask for my take on it at least. You feel me? Like, don't just be handing out money like Ray Charles was doing, you feel me, on the side and not, you feel me, your wife don't know. Like, what the fuck is that about? You feel me?
What do you think, Sean?
I don't know. Well, if we're living together and we're paying bills together, as long as he has his share.
So you don't mind then?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to know, like, why.
For me, it's the same thing. I want to know. It comes down to communication. Like, because like you said, Byron, like, well, we may not be married yet or living together, but if we're working towards that, like I said, I'm in my 30s. I'm dating and in a relationship for intention. So if you are going around and like loaning Tom, Dick, and Harry, friends, whatever, money and not really discussing it with me, like, what's to say when we're married? And I'm sorry, but marriage is kind of like a conjunction of things. It's like you do have to, if that's the step you want, that comes with also being communicative about your money too, because what's affecting you could affect me as well. So if you're out here lending, Jose, whoever, freaking money to get by till he gets paid, and you're not really communicating, hey babe, what am I supposed to do? Then you're going broke, and then it's like we had light bill to pay. I think communication is important, and I would like to know. I would like to know if my man is giving some other man money.
Exactly.
The nature of the relationship. And I want to know the nature of their relationship.
You gotta know they traits. Like, if that's a trait that you have, like, you're just giving out money all, freely and shit. Like, who knows if these people even paying you back? Like, if it's a loan situation. Like,
and some people take advantage. Some people take advantage of good people.
Exactly. So if this is a trait that you have, like with your spending habits, like, I feel like somebody is really serious when they ask you on the first few dates or the first date even, like, honey, what's your credit score looking like? Like, that's when somebody's trying to make big moves with you. They want to know, do you pay your bills on fucking time? They want to know, are you responsible with your fucking money? Like, because I need somebody that's going to be dependable.
Now, the next question kind of ties in with this one a little bit. Do you have a right to know if someone gives your boyfriend or girlfriend a gift? So let's say sneakers or a new electronic, the new, I don't know, a new bag, a Coach bag, something. Like, do you have a right to know if by your significant other, if someone else is gifting them gifts
Yeah.
of the same sex.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
The same, even the same sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to know. Because I mean, what if we out to dinner and I'm like looking at his shoes and like, oh, them is nice. Like, where did you get them? And then he just all of a sudden be like, oh, such and such gave them to me, and I'm like, oh, when the fuck did this happen? And I didn't.
Right. Right. Oh, but babe, I told you, but I showed you. You didn't show me. I seen it, but you didn't tell me how you got it.
That'll fuck up the whole date and my whole mood, and that'll cause a fight.
I even want to know if it's the opposite sex. Because if I'm getting a gay guy, I don't know. Because you get them thirsty bitches who be like, I can make him straight.
Right?
Yeah.
You do.
I want to know. I do definitely want to know, and I think again because if you go out, you don't want to be surprised. I always say this. I rather know than to be surprised. Like you go out, you bump into someone. Oh, did you love the sneaker? Oh, I see you wearing the sneakers. I got what?
What?
Okay.
Yeah, see, you can't never let another bitch see you sweat, so you gotta sit there and pretend like you knew about it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, oh yeah, don't do me like that.
Now, you brought up credit scores, which is funny because another question we have is: would you run a background check before you date someone, or if you started dating someone that you were interested in, would you run a background check on them?
If I could, I definitely would. If I could, I don't know how to do that. I don't know.
I wouldn't. Because what happens if you find nothing?
I wouldn't either.
If you find nothing, and I don't know, because then it's like, then you would eventually have to tell him if you're serious about dating him. I ran a background check on you. It is, that's kind of fucked up. Like,
shit.
I know. Or what about if you find out some shit and then you're like, well, either way it's fucked up. Because if you find out some shit, you're gonna bring it up.
I have an ex-boyfriend who has charges for domestic violence and beating up this woman down in Florida, but that's not even him. Nothing. That's not. He never even went to that town, lived in that town, or nothing like that.
I've heard similar stories where someone do a background check and there's some shit all the states that they never been to, but shit comes up. But one of our circle friends says, at this age, as you get older, I don't see why not about running a background check. If you find nothing, you're good. But if you find something that can save you from issues later on, I agree with that.
Yeah, shout out to JG because that's for real.
I think it makes more sense if you have kids. Like if I had a child, I'm running background checks on all the men I'm bringing into my life. You know?
Yeah, I'm just, at a point, like Charlie said, we're getting too old for the fucking games and the fuckery. So it's like, if I can do anything, take any steps, get any red flags sent to me from above or from the internet, you feel me? I'm going to take that shit, you feel me? Because I'm trying to save myself from all the mistakes I made with niggas in my 20s. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I am done with it. So any little thing, information that I could get to help me, you feel me, find out the truth. Because we know people put on their best front. We know we're all actors. We're all actors in the beginning. And we all know how to act and put on our best fucking front in the beginning to get the person interested in you. You know what I mean? But that don't be.
But I don't know if I'm talking to somebody that I'm thinking about dating. I'm not gonna. I would hope that they would, be serious enough to date me to tell me.
No, people lie. Well, LA is.
Well,
I don't.
People
I don't want to be the crazy bitch who ran a background check on nigga. I just.
Yeah, well, you know who didn't run a background check on her, man? Nicki Minaj.
But she loved him.
We know she didn't run a background check on him, okay? She had a whole child with him.
She loved him.
But that's a whole different story. Next question.
She loved him.
Next, we have a few more questions for our circle friends. I want to try to answer them all since people participated, and I love it that people sent through questions. If you're having issues with a partner and somewhat want to reconcile, but don't feel the effort from the other person, what would you do? Or I don't know. That's one vague question, but yeah.
I mean, you got to make peace for yourself. You know what I mean? So you could be okay. So even if that person ain't showing no effort, you still got to, even if they don't apologize to you, you still got to find a way to make peace with it so you could be good at the end of the day. Because otherwise, this shit will just eat at you. So, yeah, I would definitely try my best to make peace with the situation. Say what I need to say, get off my chest to the person, and then let it be that.
See, maybe I'm a different kind of Virgo because I have a briefcase in my head. You do some fucked up shit, and you don't know that you did it. I just fold it away, put it in that briefcase because when the argument happened, when the big fight, and you want to
pull it back out
some shit. Remember this?
I like that too, but I'm trying to change that.
And I let it slide, and you gonna be at me about this shit after I let this shit slide? That's what.
I do that too. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm trying. As we get older, see, you still in your 20s. As we get older,
do you really believe he's still in his 20s?
Oh.
Thank you. I wasn't trying to correct her. It's okay. Yeah.
You really believe that?
Not too much. But no, like as you get older, you start to try to put the pettiness away. I'm still a very petty bitch. Don't get me wrong. And I keep my receipts and I keep records of everybody that has wronged me because I'm not gonna never forget. I could try to forgive you so that I can move on with my life, but I'm never gonna forget what the fuck. And if we get into it, I'm gonna bring that shit back up. You better believe that shit. And this is my problem why I'm single now because niggas always let it be like, oh, well, you bringing up shit that we already had solved. You wasn't supposed to bring that up no more. I'm going to bring it up because it's relevant to this new fight. You get what I mean? Just because we fixed it and you apologize and I accepted your apology or I apologize, if it comes up again, I'm going to be like, remember last time we already done been through this. And they get so upset about that. Like, oh, leave it in the past. No, sometimes the past has to be brought into the
present. Yep.
So it can help fix the future. Shit, Dr. Strange in this bitch.
And I thought I had issues. Because I do that too. Like, I have a good memory. And sometimes I let shit, like Sean, like you too, I let shit slide sometimes, but it's like right there in my back pocket, just there. Yep. And then when motherfuckers do something or get mad at me, and it's like boom, 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 boom. And I don't want to bring this up because I feel as I'm getting older, I'm also very introspective. And I feel like I've heard in a few relations, I've had 5, 6 serious, what I consider 6 serious boyfriends. In 1 or 2 or 3, I've heard, oh, Charlie, you always bring up the past. You got to keep bringing up the past. Why don't you let go of the past? No, motherfucker, like you, Baron. I'm bringing it up because it's relevant to right now, and I'm trying to prove my point right now. It's not that I'm still like harping on it, but this is happening, and it's very similar to this, so I'm going to bring it up. Like, hello. It's a whole freaking thing.
Yeah, we want to show your repeat behaviors. So you need to fix this shit because it keeps coming up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't forget.
Now, how do you, guys, it tied in? It was kind of like a 2-part question with this. So, how do you both feel about staying in communication with an ex after a breakup, a fresh breakup?
Oh, when
I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
What about scenario? Okay, scenario. You guys move in together, and let's just be real. This has happened to you. You move in together, break up, but still. Obviously, people can move out so quick. How do you guys feel about that? Or how would you guys maneuver around that?
Oh, I wouldn't know what to do in that situation. Well, first off,
we would have to have if it was like a 1-bedroom apartment and we had to sleep in the same bed. Of course, he can't bring no niggas over, but
if there's 1 bedroom.
But if there's 2 bedrooms and there's a living room, and stuff, then he's a roommate, You
want me fine with him bringing over another?
I don't really care. I'm not that. I'm very not a jealous person. If we break up,
then it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
And you could be cool with him.
Oh, I am. Yeah. Oh my God. almost every week, maybe every other week, I have my ex-boyfriend come over and we'll smoke a blunt and chill and watch TV and talk. And
You do have
he'll talk about his
yeah.
dating, his relationships and stuff, and I'll give him advice.
You know, it's true. Sean has remained. That's very true about Sean. You have remained friends with or friendly with some of your exes, and I admire that. Like, you know, after so long, like me too. I forgive guys and stuff, but unlike you, Sean, like with me, it's like I could forgive you for myself, for my spirit, and the lightness that I want to feel. But it doesn't mean with some of them that I want to be best friends and hee hee ha ha and chill. Like, but no, I forgive you. We can still follow each other on social media. Once in a while, hey, hope you're well. Yeah, you too. Cool. But coming over to chill, nah. Some of them don't deserve it.
Are you an August Virgo or a
September?
Yeah. Are you an August Virgo? I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, he's an August Virgo.
I don't know. Maybe it's the it's the I'm trying to rationalize it. Like I built this relationship with this person. And it's not going to be that kind of relationship, but it can be turned into a different kind of relationship. It's not like he's my ex, but we're friends, but like I don't call him like a best friend. I still call him my ex. If I introduce him to people, he's still like, that's my ex.
But see, y'all must have broke up on good terms then. Yeah. Was it like it couldn't have been like, no, he ghosted you or really played you, pimped you out or some bullshit like that. Like y'all had to end like good, like right?
Yeah, we ended up on
it ended good.
That makes a difference.
But when it ends with feelings or like somewhat of hard feelings,
or somebody got played, because let me tell you something. I don't speak and would be damn if any of my exes fucking try to speak to me in the streets. You better act like you ain't never seen me a day in your motherfucking life. I have literally ran into niggas that I have fucked, been in a whole ass relationship with and looked the other way or look right at them and look through them like I have never seen them a day in my life. And that's sad to have to be like that with somebody that you've laid in the bed with and been naked with. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, these LA boys is fuck boys. You feel me? And they ridiculous. And all my relationships have ended really fucking bad. Most of them with ghosting. Me being the one that got ghosted. So it's like, what the fuck I'm gonna be cool and on good terms with you for and wish you well. I hate to say I wish anybody harm or anything like that, but nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like the way you did me, like vengeance. You feel me? I'm fucking vengeance, trying to be vengeance for that ass.
Hi, I'm Karma.
You just
and I'm a bitch.
Act like they're not even there. Like they don't even exist.
Oh yeah, I could look through a nigga like it's nothing.
I have like
really burns their soul when you do that. Like when
one regret I did. Well, my ex-boyfriend broke up with me. He told me he was still in love with his ex-boyfriend. Ooh. So I fucked his ex-boyfriend after we broke up. I felt bad after, but the evil in me. I was like, "Oh, what you in love? Let me see this."
That's that Virgo
shit. Now, we have another question, and we kind of spoke about it before the show already. Is it a big deal if you don't post who you're dating on social media?
I think, like I was saying earlier, you at least got to put me on your story. You at least got to put me on your story every now and again. You do what I'm saying? I get the whole thing about people wanting to have their, some sense of privacy. You know what I mean? Because I just had a friend and this bitch had a whole ass baby and I never knew until the baby was born. She kept that shit that low key on social media, never posted nothing, never said nothing, like just really kept. Some people really want to be private with their life because, back in the day when it was MySpace going on, y'all remember that shit? Yeah. We would decorate our page with our boyfriend and kissing and hugging. And then next thing you know, the next week, all that shit taken down because we done broke up. So, and then people be like, oh, what happened to Mr. Right? What happened to the love of your life? So that's fucked up. So now I really would be more careful about putting it on my main feed, but I would still like at least post the person. If I'm really feeling them, I would post little cute stories because that's only up for 24 hours. So what's the problem?
Agree. I mean, for myself, like we were talking about back then, and Sean, you know that because you know me from that, you know me for years. over a decade. I used to post a lot. I still could post a lot, but now I don't post. And I'm sure you could agree with this, Sean, to give me some grace. I don't post so much about my relationships as much as I did before. Before I would be like, dinner with my baby. This is my mid-20s. Dinner this or everything. I posted everything we did, dinner or going out, date night. Now I still post, but not as much. I do think as I'm getting older, a little more mysterious and sense of privacy is important, and you keep motherfuckers guessing. Because let's be honest, we kind of like the Truman. What is it? The Truman Show, or what was that movie that Reese Witherspoon was in? It's kind of like we're in a reality where like people are now watching you and expecting certain things, and like, you know what I mean. So I want to have a little mysterious. I want to keep motherfuckers guessing as well. And, and we live in a vulture world. We live in a vulture world. Like you post a man, people start following your man. Out of nowhere. And it's like, wait a minute, mutual friends. Like, motherfucker, why do you have to follow? And I noticed, and I have a few people in my head as I'm saying this, I have done this with more than one boyfriend I've had. And it's like, wow, motherfucker, like every time I have a new man, you are following them. Like, I know we fought, but shit. Like, you gotta be following. I don't want to put anyone on blast on this podcast, but I have a few names that have done this with several men I've dated or actual relationships where it's like, why? Like, why do you gotta follow everyone? Like, I start dating. So we live in a vulture world where it's like, so and to answer this question, to the person who asked, I do think you should post your significant other, because I do also feel like I do want motherfuckers on my match page to know I'm the one in his motherfucking life right now, and vice versa. Do you have to plaster the person all over social media on your page? No, my opinion, but there has to be some sense of this is my man and showing it off. You also gotta let motherfuckers know, like, I'm taken, or
I think it's
really hidden.
like it's like how much. I think it depends like how much time you spend on social media. If you're on social media, if you're posting stuff every day, then at least change your status to in a relationship.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely definitely a big one. Because I mean, people love, guys out here in Cali love to say, well, my page is just for my business and my page is just it's professional and I don't put none of my business out there. And it's like them be the main ones that the reason they doing that because they got multiple bitches and they tell all the bitches that same thing, because you really can't you don't want to get crazy, because men will be real fucking quick to call you a crazy psycho bitch, and then they kick your ass to the curb because they're like, she was demanding too much of me. She was demanding too much of me. No, but it's like, really, you telling all these bitches this because you trying to appear to be a businessman, so can't nobody really come for you about posting. But really, you got a family at home and you got a whole bunch of side bitches, and that's why you don't want to post none of us.
Yep. We have this wasn't a question, but it was advice from our boy Jay. Stop staying in toxic relationships just because it's easier to stay than leave. Do you find that this is something that's going on a lot right nowadays, especially with millennials and Gen Zs? What do you folks feel about that statement?
I've definitely had a lot of friends constantly running back to exes. You feel me? Because they're like, either the dick is too good and I can't find better dick elsewhere, like I've tried, but they just can't hit them spots right. So I gotta keep going back to him. And then feelings get involved because
I can't leave him alone.
I don't give a fuck how I don't give a fuck how many people say, oh, we just fuck buddies or we just friends with benefits. Somebody, your feelings is going to end up getting invested after so long of being that. You know what I mean? You're going to want to start going out on dates or doing this, doing that. Or you would feel some type of way if your fuck buddy that you've been fucking on for so long just came out and said, oh, I can't fuck you no more because now I got a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Ooh. You will be feeling some type of motherfucking way. I don't care. People try to say, no, I wouldn't. No, you would. You will be internally hurt. You might not admit that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you would be thinking to yourself, why not me? Why couldn't he see me more than just a fuck? You know what I mean? So
I don't know if that's happened to me, but I've definitely done that to people. Where it's just a casual thing, and then boom, I'm in a relationship. Like,
right. But what was it? What was it about them? Why you didn't want to be in a relationship with them?
Honestly, just stuff. Like there's categories, and like you match like sexually, and yeah, you guys chill and it's a vibe, but then there's just something that lacks where there's just something, a category, just whatever it may be, where it's like it doesn't completely fill what I'm looking like. And then I think it goes back to expectations and what you truly want. And like sometimes for me, it just some of these individuals didn't fill all the categories.
And to just keep them just for fun.
They were good people. Yeah, their sex is good. Good, they were pretty, chill with, vibe with, come over, let's drink, smoke, whatever, whatever for a few hours. Yeah, you may stay over, cook you some breakfast the next day, and then you go, like whatever, like that, like
But it was something you saw in them that you didn't see in them that you knew you would need.
That there was just something that it was like, even if it's small, it's just like I know this wouldn't go nowhere because of this, or I know because I know where I'm going in my path of life, this wouldn't work. Like it's just little things. It's not necessarily always big things, but little things. Now the last question we have that was sent in was dealing with high conflict, and Baronique, I want you to definitely go answer this first, because it's also from a female friend of the show asking, dealing with high conflict baby mama, baby daddy after 6 years. So basically, dealing with how do you go about, or in a situation where you're still dealing with baby mama drama or baby daddy drama after X amount of time.
I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. This is why I'm not trying to sound like no bougie LA Hollywood bitch, but I do not date men that have kids. I'm sorry, and I know I'm 32, and so most guys out here, if you ain't got a baby by 30, bitches is looking at you like you must be gay. You know what I mean? Or something. You on the down low. Something is wrong. Your shit don't work. You done smoke too much weed, and your sperm is gone. Something is wrong, right? But I don't want a man with kids for that reason. I'm just not trying to deal with well, first off, I'm a Virgo and I'm a little selfish. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, I'm selfish. I want my first child to be our first child. I don't want it to just be my first child and you've gone through this already with another bitch, because then the excitement ain't there equally. You know what I mean? But I don't want to deal with no baby mama drama. I'm sorry. I just can't. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be second runner up to no bitch like, oh, I was the first baby mama, so I'm always have, that special place in his heart because I gave him his first child. That's a big thing. You feel me, out here on the West Coast. So it's like, I don't want to, I've never wanted to deal with that. I've never wanted to. And like I said, I've always wanted a husband more than kids. You get what I'm saying? So I want my man to have that freedom. Like if we don't have kids, we just have each other. Like I want us to be free to not have no obligations. Like, well, I can't go on this trip or I can't do this with you because I got the kids this weekend. Or, I'm a selfish bitch. I don't want to deal with it.
I understand. No. I dated somebody with kids and I found myself slightly jealous. Like all that time, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think it would have felt different if they were my kids, but they weren't. But
yeah.
So I was just like,
I dated someone with kids too, which is I mentioned it earlier. One of the he had I don't want to go into specifics. To protect, I guess it's like when writing a book, you could kind of like think,
right.
One of his kids, like I said, it's named what I always wanted to name my firstborn. That's changed, but he had 3 kids. One of them I didn't really have to deal with because they were away, like in another state. But I dealt with 2 of his kids, and to me, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, he was divorced. It was no baby mama drama type of thing. It wasn't a big deal, but I do know that there are some, people that do deal with baby mama drama stuff, like
crazy,
on crazy levels. And I mean, I don't want to speak for my mom and dad, but like my mom and dad were divorced when I was like 12, 13. So yeah, initially, breakup and stuff, it was a little friction, but as time went by, speaking for my mom and dad, and I don't want to speak for them, but from what I see, there wasn't really, maybe some bickering here and there about maybe the behavior of, us, me and my brothers. But for the most part, there wasn't no drama. My mom wasn't like bothered if like my dad was dating whatever bitch, because Hello, that's one of the reasons they broke up is because he was a player. Or my dad wasn't really tripping after a while. Like when my mom moved on, like it wasn't tripping on each other because you moved on with another female or man. Because that's usually where the drama usually comes from. Because a bitch is still jealous because you moved on. And, you know, so I've never had an issue with it. Looking at my parents after X amount of time of healing, they never, you know, had an issue with it. So I get some people do, but I never really dealt with it. So for the person who asked the question, I mean, I don't know if we answered it or whatever, but how that bitch to fuck off.
Yeah, I don't deal with it. I'm sorry. I don't deal with it.
It's like
I may have to deal with it one day. I may meet a man and fall so deeply that I don't give a fuck that he got 5-6 kids.
Hey, Jesse Williams.
But it's
different.
It's different.
You deal with that shit. You deal with that shit. Okay.
But
it's different time. I think when your parents and my parents were getting divorced and one parent had custody of the kids, they just dealt with it. And like I feel like nowadays these young parents, you know, the women might have like custody of the kids, but you know, the women are like, oh, I'm gonna go out on the weekend, you need to go live with your father. You know, they do that now. They didn't do that when I was a kid. You know, my mother had full custody. My mother had full custody all the time. Yeah. And I think that's what causes a lot of problems nowadays with baby mama drama.
Yeah, and I do feel like if you really meet somebody and they got kids, you shouldn't let that stop you. You know what I mean? Because I thank God that my grandpa didn't let that stop him from getting with my granny. Because my granny had fucking 3-4 kids when my step grandpa came into her life, and he didn't let that. You know what I mean? Because my step grandpa ended up being a big role, a father figure to me in my life. So God knows if he would have just looked at my granny like, oh, this bitch got too many kids, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be who I am today. You know what I mean? From him being accepting her and all her kids, which one of them was my mother, and he raised them like they were his, and then he ended up having to raise me and my little brother. So, you know, I think of that and let that try to be like, Byronique, don't be like that. You know what I mean?
Same thing with my dad. Like I mean, he's the only dad. I consider him my only dad. And he considers me one of his sons, but it's the same thing with my dad. My dad could have looked at my mom and be like, oh no, yeah. Just another thing. And he makes fun of he definitely, to this day, I'm motherfucking in my mid-30s, and to this day he still brings up certain fucking dumb stories from when I was a little baby and he met my mom, whatever. And it's like, oh God, tell your stories again. But it's like, you know, he could have gone the other way. He definitely could have. I mean, nowadays niggas will people, the guys these days are not built like guys back in the day. Motherfuckers be ready to fly. Oh, no.
Yep. They be having a checklist. They be having a fucking checklist just like us bitches now.
Yeah, so it's
they
like
be having expectations.
I myself, I wouldn't run away from you know, someone who has kids. Now dealing with the drama, like, you know, if the guy had a mama drama type of thing, I would definitely, knowing myself, I would tell him check it. Yeah. I would be like, check the bitch, check her, check her. Yeah. Or if you had another kid with another man, check that motherfucker.
Yes.
And make me feel first, make me feel like I have a position in your life or not. Like, okay, this is not for me.
That's the problem too, like what Sean was saying, like about the jealous, like feeling jealous. I was dealing with a guy at one point that did have kids, and I felt he did a situation where he made me feel like the kids, like he was like, oh, it's rain, I don't like to go out in the rain, but then he went and took his kids shopping or to the mall, and I said, oh, but you could take your kids out, but you couldn't come see me because it's rain. It's like, nigga, what the fuck you mean? And then he made me feel bad, tried to make me feel bad, like, well, those are my fucking kids.
Yeah, I know.
Kids. What don't you ever
put
yourself before my kids? And I'm like, what you mean don't put me before? You know what I mean? Like, this is the problem, and this is the problem. Like, it's always that throwing it back in your face. Nobody comes before my kids. Nobody comes before my kids. It's like, okay, but I bet if we had a kid together, your ass wouldn't be saying that. You wouldn't. It ain't nobody.
You'll be giving you excuses like, well, you know, I gotta do this and I gotta work. We know how it is. But Yo, listen, this was a fun show, and we definitely got to do more of this, especially when we get to the nitty gritty of what we all go through as everyday people. We definitely have to come back to this and discuss this more. Now, here at the Inner Circle, first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming in and talking this and y'all perspective. Thank you guys so much, especially, last minute shit. So thank you so much for definitely hopping on and giving y'all perspective. I love you guys. You guys are one of my favorite people to have on the show. Now, where could we find you guys really quick? Where could we find you folks social media wise? Anyone who's listening or watching, where could they support you guys?
I am at The First Barbie, THE1 ST Barbie BARBIE. That's on Instagram, my Snapchat, my TikTok, my Twitter, and then my YouTube channel is Byronique Barbie, exactly how it's spelled right here above my name. Right there. And yes, thank you so much for having me on again. Shout out to We Family Love.
Shout out to We Family
Connection. You feel me? Shout out to everybody in the comments. Thank y'all so much.
Sean, where could we find you? I know you're not as active on social media like that.
No, I don't really fuck with social media like that. But I do stream on Twitch every now and then. You can find me at Zion85RI. So that's about it.
All right, and you guys know the deal with the Inner Circle Podcast. We are on our Instagram. Make sure you're following us on the Instagram, just like you guys see it spelled out right there, the Inner Circle Podcast. Also on YouTube, please, we're trying to build our YouTube. We eventually, because we hear that Facebook is shutting podcasts down, whatever bullshit Facebook is going through. Mark Zuckerberg, I'm looking at you. So we want to make sure that we build our YouTube. So make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube. It doesn't hurt. And we have our Venmo, our Cash App. Also, we're trying to pay our lights, our melon and all that stuff. So if you feel, a quarter goes a long way. The Inner Circle Podcast, as you see right there. We love you guys so much. Now we're gonna end it. You know how we do on the Inner Circle Podcast. We end it in gratitude. So I don't know if you guys have a gratitude or something y'all thankful for, but I'm gonna be short and quick and simple with mine. I am thankful for Zyrtec because these allergies are kicking my fucking ass. So thank you, Zyrtec. And although I'm popping them like freaking candy, it's still, those allergies are still a little trying to kick my ass. But Zyrtec, y'all balance this shit out. Thank you. These allergies are kicking my ass. Do you guys have a gratitude, something y'all thankful for? No, quick.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my mother. Since Mother's Day has passed, I'm really.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day, Mama Farrell. To some of my hellos, Byronique. What are you have gratitude for?
Oh, well, as always, for y'all bringing me on your show. You understand? That's really
your circle friend, your family now.
Thank you. And obviously, I'm thankful for We Family, son, because without them, I would never met y'all. You feel me? So shout out to them. And I'm thankful I have a really big audition coming up this week for something really, really big. And I am so thankful. Even, if it don't work out, I am just thankful to have the opportunity to audition. And that's the attitude to thing. Yes.
And we're sending you great, great vibes. Every one of our circle friends, make sure y'all send out good vibes right now if you're listening, watching. We thank you guys so much. We will see you next week. Melanie's back again, and we have a special guest also next week, so make sure you tune in. We are out. Thank you so much for the love and support.